What's going on, guys? It's been a long time since I made a video, but it's that time of the year again where I start getting that itch for games to start. So I kind of just wanted to get this video out as a little discussion of what's been going on in the off season since our last game. A lot of players in, a lot of players out. I guess the biggest news in this offseason was the Jack Harrison soap opera, which is finally done. It's finally over. He has officially signed for Man City and then immediately loaned out to Middlesbrough in the championship. Very bittersweet, you know. Would have loved for him to stay. He only played 2 seasons with us, but gave us close to 60 games. I think 14, 15 goals in that time, 10 of them being last year. So he was definitely growing as a player, so I would love to keep him at least another year. You know what I mean? The Villa era could be coming to an end at the end of the season. Not really sure, but would have loved to have another year of him being with us. At least if that Villa era is done, at least give him that last year with Jack. Would have been nice. But like I said, bittersweet. I'm very happy for him. I hope he continues to grow, and I really hope it's not the last time we hear of Jack Harrison. But yeah, he is not the only player that has left. I'm kind of just going to go over the list here and then just maybe touch on one or two players. Pirlo obviously retired. RJ Allen was traded for a third-round Super Draft pick. I'm not sure for which year, but he is in Orlando now. Frederick Briand, Camargo, Gomez, Johansson, Mikey Lopez, Jefferson Mena, Sean O'Coley, which kind of surprised me a little bit. I thought they'd keep him around just to keep working on him, but his option was declined and he is not back. Struna, Sturzer, I think I said that name, John Sturzer. Yeah. Ethan White, and then Kyrie Shelton was traded to Kansas City for Saad Abdul-Salam, a right back. He's one of our new additions now, along with Anton Tinnerholm, another right back. Came over from Malmo. He will probably get the start over Saad Abdul-Salam. Salam will probably be the backup to him, but yeah. So 2 new right backs with RJ Allen being gone. So looking forward to how that works out. One of the things I do want to see is consistency in the defense. I want to have that, that goalie, the 4 in the back, be consistent and play well together and be comfortable with each other. There's one thing I don't like is a lot of mixing and, you know what I mean? I don't like the experimentation. I'm not a fan of that, and I know Patrick did that for a little bit where he would kind of put a different team out at different times. I'm more of a fan of a set, comfortable lineup every game in, game out. You know what I mean? Obviously, you have to rest players. Players get hurt. Players go out in international duty and things like that. But for the most part, if the option is available, I'm somebody that likes to see a consistent lineup. So the defense, primarily, I like to see a consistent defense. I think it means a lot to a team when those players, especially that back line, is comfortable with each other. So Anton Tinnerholm, Saad Abdul-Salam came over from Kansas City in the trade with Kyrie Shelton. We also added a goalkeeper, which will probably be a backup, Brad Stuver. New DP, Jesus Medina, probably the player I'm most excited to see play just because he has that DP title. Kind of learned the hard way to kind of take it easy on these DPs and not expect so much only because they have that title. I think with the creation of the team where we had Lampard, Pirlo, and Villa as our DPs, you can't help but have those high standards and high expectations just because of who they are. They've already set that name for themselves. So last year when Maxi came, I was kind of had that same like, oh, he's a DP, high expectations kind of thing, and it was kind of underwhelming. He didn't perform to where I had his bar set at. Let's put it that way. So kind of learned the hard way to just kind of watch that player first before saying, oh my God, new DP. Oh my God, this guy's gonna be great. Blah blah blah. So, anyways, Jesus Medina, Paraguayan young midfielder. Which will probably be put on one of the wings with probably not going to do a center attacking midfielder role, being that we don't really use that much. And yeah, We also got a new center back, Cedric Hutanji, I believe his name is. I think I'm saying that right. A couple other players. Ismail Tajuri came over, a Libyan player. And then we have a backup for Villa that I think was our last acquisition in the offseason, Joe Ingberget. I think I'm saying his name right. I'm just going to call him Joe until I figure out how to really say his name. But yeah, a lot of people are excited about him. He's probably the player I've seen most excitement around in this offseason, even more than Jesus Medina. A lot of people are excited about him. And you know what? I see why. We've been needing a backup for Villa for a few years now. We haven't found that second offensive threat to kind of alleviate some of that pressure off Villa. So I don't think they'll play together, but it would be nice to give Villa a rest and not have to worry about, oh man, who's going to score goals now. This guy seems to have the experience. He's played in Europe. He's played in big games. He's played in Champions League. So looking forward to seeing how that works out. That covers the departures and the arrivals. Like I said, I was just going to touch on a few of them. A lot of players gone, a lot of new players in. Super Draft was a couple weeks ago. We added 2 players in that. Nothing too crazy. Nothing. I think we picked up with our first pick a backup goalkeeper, which would probably be the backup to the backup. But it's nice young kid. You know what I mean? It'll be nice to develop him and see what happens. But obviously, I think Sean Johnson is still our number 1 keeper, and I am totally okay with that. Today is the official start of preseason games, which is kind of why I wanted to do this video. I look at it as up until yesterday, we were still in the off season, and today with the first competitive match, doesn't mean anything. It's just a scrimmage game against Jacksonville University. Won't be televised. They're over in Florida. They'll be playing games from today all the way to February 24th. A few preseason games. They'll have Jacksonville, and then they'll be playing LAFC, the Galaxy, and then they'll travel to Mexico, play a team there. I think San Luis is the name of the team, and then they will go back to Florida to finish off those preseason games with Real Salt Lake and the Montreal Impact on February 24th, leading up to the start of the season on March 4th, away to Sporting Kansas City. So maybe we'll see Kyrie Shelton again. Who knows? I hope they're not expecting much from Kyrie Shelton, but who knows? A lot of people have an issue with Kyrie. I can see why, but I met the guy. He's a nice guy. I wish him all the best. Didn't turn out to be what we wanted him to be, but that happens. I'm not going to go say F this dude and I hope he breaks a leg. That's just not what I do. So, again, all the best to Kyrie Shelton, but we will be seeing his new team on the first game of the season on March 4th. I think expectations for this year, like I said, I do want to see some consistency in the lineup. I want to find that 11 that works for us, and I want to keep that 11. Obviously, there's the World Cup, so we might lose a couple players for that time being. I don't believe the MLS stops playing. I'm pretty sure they don't stop playing. I know a lot of leagues around the world will do a break in the middle of the season for the World Cup, at least in South America. I know they do that, but I don't believe the MLS does that, so we will still be playing while the World Cup is going on, if I'm not mistaken. Pretty sure that's the case. So we might lose out on a couple players for that. Not sure. I believe Costa Rica is in the World Cup, right? And then that would leave us without Matarrita and Wallace. Let's see here. But yeah, so we do have backups for that. Yeah, so it does look like, Costa Rica is in the World Cup. So we will be a month without Matarrita and Wallace, which is probably going to get the call up. I know Mata for sure, but Wallace is, I don't think is decided on that yet. So like I said, consistency in the lineup is something I want to see, and I want to see us develop a second threat other than Villa. I've been wanting to see that for a few seasons now, and we just can't find that. Jack was that if we had to give somebody that second threat title, but I think he fell short where we most needed him, which was in the playoffs. He was kind of non-existent, which, you know, kind of hurt us to rely so much on Villa in that playoff, and he couldn't produce. And yeah, I think that kind of wraps it up. I do want to do a couple more videos before the season actually starts, and then I eventually want to do, hopefully my goal is to do a video after each game and that week leading up to the next game as kind of a recap of that game and a discussion leading up to the next game. But yeah, hope you guys stay tuned. Like I said, I do want to be more active on this. I fell off in the last 2 seasons and didn't keep up with it, but I think this is something I'll be able to do. So thanks, guys, and let's go, boys.